After Amanda and I first started dating back in 2003, actually pretty soon after we first started dating, I'd had some trouble with my joints and thought, hey, let's go get this checked out. Ran over to Duke University to see a doctor about my joints, and he said, have you ever heard of this one condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome? Essentially, what it is a connective tissue disorder. My body doesn't make collagen correctly. Causes all of my joints to be really loose. It causes my skin to tear really easily, and I bruise very easily. It's pretty painful. There's a lot of mornings that I wake up and I have to put both of my shoulders back in their sockets, both of my hips back in their sockets before I'm really able to stand up and get moving. One of the things about it that has been really tough is that I'm losing the ability to walk. I have a wheelchair at home. I wear some pretty large braces now, and as my hips and knees and feet continue to dislocate and create greater pain, there's a real possibility of being a wheelchair moving forward. I remember after my initial diagnosis in '03, going through a period of very deep depression and anger and resentment. Just the whole gambit of emotions. I didn't know how to feel, I didn't know what to feel. And I think one of the hardest things that I've had to come to grips with over the years is that when people tell you things are just gonna get better on the other side or there are greener pastures, that they're not really there. Because I know that everything I have in my conditions is degenerative and my body is just gonna keep getting worse. One of the things that the geneticist told myself and Amanda early on was that the Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is an inherited condition and that it's a dominant gene. And that was a really tough thing. I mean, granted, it was early on in our relationship, but it was one of those things that kind of stayed in the back of our mind. We knew that if we were to stay together, we would have some serious decisions to make. I started to realize over time how much greater God was than anything that I was going through. I still had bad days, and I still had days I would be upset and I would be frustrated, but that depression, that anger, that angst, that weariness that I had, it just began to fade. It just started to melt away. And I think that was God coming into my heart and coming into my mind and telling me that there were greater things happening, that there were greater things that I was meant to do in my life, that there were reasons behind all of the things I was going through that maybe I just didn't understand. In 2 Corinthians, Paul talks about how he was blessed with a thorn in his side, but the scripture right before that says, in order that I might not become conceited, I was blessed with a thorn in my side. And I thank God for that thorn every day because I know that he gave me that thorn so that I could be a better person, a greater person. And the scripture goes on to say that I now find strength in my inequities. I find joy in my unhappiness because I know that when I am weak, then I am strong. Well, I remember having a conversation similar to that when I found that peace with Amanda, and we were sitting down and we were really beginning to think about our future. And I remember thinking and telling Amanda that if God wanted us to have a child, then we would. And that if God wanted to bless our child with the thorn that he has blessed me with, that he would also bless us with the tools and the strength and the will to be able to handle it. In 2010, my son Liam was born, and he has been the greatest blessing to our lives that I could ever imagine. I couldn't imagine a moment of my life without him. And I know some people say, well, you know you might be giving this to your son. And I said, yeah, but imagine if it's giving me the perspective that I've been given and this amazing peace that it has blessed me with, then I know that it's going to provide that same peace and that same blessing to him. I don't want to be defined by my condition. I don't want to be defined by all the things that I can't do. I'd rather focus on the things that I'm able to accomplish despite it. I know that through God, he's going to provide me with the opportunity to accomplish really great things, even though I'm in the midst of the storm that I'm in. There are certainly days that I have that aren't so great. I wake up not so happy that day or just having a difficult pain day, but it's the peace that God has given me. It's the peace of mind and the peace in my heart that makes me able to keep my head high and keep moving forward. I wouldn't take back, I don't regret a single moment of the life that I've been blessed with. I've learned to love my disability. I've learned to love my diseases. I've learned to love all of those things as blessings from God, because I know that when I'm weak, that's when I'm strong.